All right, let's dive into something really powerful today. We're going to unpack a modern parable about a reluctant hero, an outsider who's carrying a burden heavier than anyone around him could possibly imagine. This is the story of the Gilded Outsider. And it all starts here, with this one simple line. We're not just kicking off a story, we're stepping right into a myth. A myth about identity, about incredible power, and about the choices we make. So our traveler's journey begins. But it's not with some grand heroic entrance. No, his arrival is shrouded in secrecy, and he's under a cloud of judgment from the very first moment. Get this, he shows up not as some eager volunteer, but as a runaway. He's haunted, carrying the guilt for a friend's death. And on top of that, he's hiding this immense power, this sun inside him that he is absolutely terrified of. So right away, you know this is not going to be your typical hero's journey. And this is the welcome he gets. His new teacher completely misreads him from the get-go. He sees a Daxamite, a race known for its arrogance, and just assumes he's some spoiled king slumming it. He sees a blunt instrument, a battering ram, but he completely misses the man inside. And this really highlights that huge gap between how people see him and who he actually is. To everyone around him, he just looks like a weapon waiting to be aimed. But inside, he's dealing with this complex, painful past that nobody even bothers to ask about. And here's the truth of it, the reality he's hiding. The teacher calls him a king? No way. Back on his homeworld, he was a prisoner. And that emerald ring he wears, it is so much more than a weapon. For him, it's a lifeline. It's the only thing that can keep the door to his past locked and bolted shut. Which brings us to the absolute core of his secret burden. This is about the discovery of a power that is, at the same time, a miracle and a complete nightmare. Just try to imagine this for a second. He steps into the light of a yellow star for the first time, and everything changes. His body becomes nearly invulnerable, his senses can see across the entire universe. It's this moment of godlike ascension, but look how it's described, as a burning hunger. That tells you it's something primal, something dangerous. And this right here is the central paradox of his whole life. The gift is obvious, right? He becomes a god among mortals, powerful enough to move moons. But the curse, the curse is deeply personal. Because if he uses that power, he proves his father right. He becomes the very Superman his father always said he should be, a ruler, a tyrant. So it poses this amazing question. What good is infinite power if using it destroys who you are? So what do you do with a power that's both terrible and magnificent? Well, he makes a choice, a pivotal one that's going to define his entire character. This is the battle laid bare. It's a fight within himself. He can rely on his ring, which is hard. It requires constant focus, discipline, and willpower. Or he can just tap into his bloodline, his DNA, which requires nothing but a little sunlight. It's a choice between a chosen struggle and an easy divinity. And he makes his choice. He keeps his fist closed. He intentionally picks the harder path. He would rather fight and struggle using his will than accept this unearned, dangerous power that's just flowing through his veins. It's this profound act of self-control. But, of course, personal choice is one thing. The universe often has its own plans. And in the shadows, a very different story about our traveler is being told. While his own teacher is calling him a recruit, you have these dark forces whispering another name for him, the Torchbearer. And pay attention to that wording. Not a hero, but a vessel waiting to be filled. It's so ominous. It implies he has no real choice in his destiny, that he's just a container for some greater and maybe much darker purpose. And that destiny is coming for him fast. A great war is brewing, a war of sin and fear. And he knows deep down that the willpower his ring provides just isn't going to be enough to stop it. He realizes he's going to have to make an impossible choice. To save everyone, he has to become the very thing he ran from, the monster his people feared, an alien god standing between the darkness and the light. I mean, that's the tragic irony of it all, isn't it? He fled a world defined by its weakness to lead, only to find himself destined to carry a far, far heavier weight, the fate of the entire galaxy. So we're left with this question. It's the absolute heart of the traveler's burden, and it's the central question of this whole parable. When your own effort, your own will is no longer enough to face the darkness. Can you pick up ultimate power and still remain yourself? Can you embrace divinity without becoming a tyrant? It's a question worth thinking about.